Alright, so I'm not really pulling anyone's chain with this video. I am seriously serious that there is an extremely valuable coin that can be found. It's almost like, well, let's be honest, it is kind of like winning the lottery. But before we get into the actual coin, let's go ahead and talk about where you can find these things. So the 1975 Proof set wasn't anything spectacular other than the fact that this was a set that excuse me, that this was a set that featured three very cool coins that people were waiting a long time for, and that was the bicentennial commemorative coins, okay, which came in the fashion of a quarter, a half dollar, and the Ike dollar. Okay, all three are represented in this set. As a matter of fact, there was never any 1975 quarter, half dollar, or dollar coin released in anticipation of preparing for such a set with the bicentennial. So it kind of skipped a year. Actually, it did. There's no kinda about it. But as great as those three coins are, and at the time it captivated our attention as collectors, there was one other coin that not a lot of people knew about, but began to spread like wildfire the moment the very first example was discovered. The Roosevelt Dime that's included in here, in fact, all the proof coins that you see in the set were produced in San Francisco, so they all have the S mint mark somewhere near or pretty close within proximity to the date. The Roosevelt Dime in this particular instance is the coin that I'm talking about today. Okay, and this is a coin that back in 1977, one example was discovered that was missing the S mint mark. That's right. A true mint mistake by any stretch of the imagination has made a coin that to some of us is pretty uninteresting, other than the fact that one was discovered without the mint mark. So much so that the coin automatically, the news of this omission from the dime, the mint mark that is, spread like wildfire throughout the numismatic community. A second example was discovered 7 years later in 1984. So that's how long it took for one example to be discovered, and then the next subsequent example 7 years later. All right, it wasn't just this like passing thing where it's like, oh, I found one. Oh yeah, it's no big deal. It was a big deal then because it was an extremely valuable coin. As a matter of fact, okay, before that second example was sold, January 2nd, 1980, this set with all six coins with the missing S 1975 Roosevelt Dime sold for $40,475, which is a absolutely dumb amount of money for a set that at the time people paid what, $3-4 for. Okay, that's how cheap these proof sets were. Actually, it might be a little bit higher than that at that time, but when you take the original value of the sets and compare them to the actual final sale price of the set with the no S mint mark, it's truly a jackpot of a find. So since that 1984 specimen was discovered, there have been no other examples found of the 1975 no S Roosevelt Dime. All right, so those two coins were graded, okay, at one point. One example graded out proof 66 through PCGS. The second example graded proof 68 through PCGS. The latter of the two was featured in the Stax Bowers 2011 auction. And here's where things get really nuts. The coin ended up selling for $349,600. It is with this sale that has catapulted this specific coin as being the #1 coin in the top 100 modern era coins. Okay, there was actually a book written by Q. David Bowers. He listed that coin as being the top prize in a sea of various other modern coins. And when I mean modern, I mean like post 1950 modern coins. That's how significant this coin is. Whether or not another one exists out there, there are a lot of these sets, folks, that have yet to been discovered. They are all frittered away, socked away in a collection. People ordered multiples of these. They made a number of million of these 1975 proof sets. It's going to be only a matter of time before a number 3 example exists. Hopefully this video will help, gain some steam, amongst the public to be on the lookout for this particular coin. You see the coin right here before you. This is actually the Proof 68 example that's sold through Stax Bowers. It's a great reference photo. It's a thing of beauty. It's like poetry in motion. Will I ever find it? I don't know. I haven't been actively looking, but you know what? This is going to make a huge, serious payday for someone that's interested. Because, I wouldn't even think of doing anything else with a coin other than selling it while there's a market. I have a feeling this one might even, the next great example might even supersede the one that sold at the Stax Bowers auction, because that's how significant of a coin it is. In this day and age, there are a lot of deep pocket people out there. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's quite the undertaking that a 6-figure coin can be found in such a overlooked proof set, such as the 1975/76. Man, I've come across a whole bunch of these sets, and outside of that 75S, there's not a whole lot of fanfare with it. It's great to album fill, with this date range. But aside from that, it's a cumbersome date. I could say the same for any date in the 70s and possibly 80s, as being extremely unexciting. But I'm glad that this rarity exists, and hope you guys happy hunting with this one. Anyways, it was a pleasure. You guys have a fantastic evening. Have a great weekend as we kick off December coming up here. And as always, the best way that you can support my channel, just go ahead and hit the like button below, and join me on Facebook, Blue Ridge Silverhound, 4 words. Come say hi, like the page, post an image if you'd like, and let us all take a look at what you got going on. Thanks again for joining. Love you guys, and take care. Have a nice evening.